All right, Mr. Bohork here, and now we're going to talk about markup. So, what's markup? Well, let's give a hypothetical situation first. Let's say the new iPad 3 is coming out. Oh boy, iPad 3, fancy. And you know what? You're going to buy it. You're excited. So the store price is $599. Oops, $599. $599, let's say 99 cents. Let's go with that. Okay. So, let's see here. Well, let's say you're going to go to Best Buy, and you're going to buy this thing, and you're sitting there waiting in line and saying, I wonder what Best Buy pays for the iPad. You know, they don't get them for free. Okay, that's no. They definitely do not get these things for free. Okay, they have to pay Apple money. They got to buy an iPad too. Or iPad 3, sorry. They also must buy an iPad 3 in order to sell it to you. Okay, Apple doesn't just like give them iPads. So you're sitting there in line, you're wondering, I wonder what Best Buy pays for them. Well, I bet Best Buy, let's say they pay them $560 for every iPad. So Best Buy pays Apple. That's the company that makes iPads, in case you didn't know. Best Buy pays Apple $560 for every iPad 3. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Well, if Best Buy pays, I forgot to write buy. If Best Buy pays Apple $560 for every iPad 3, and then they sell it to you for, $600, well, then they make profit, right? They make some money. There's a little bit of a difference in price there where they're making some money. If they paid Apple $599.99 for every iPad 3, if Best Buy paid them that much, well, then they wouldn't make any money. So that's not really to their advantage. Of course, Best Buy wants to make money. They're a big old business. They got to pay their employees and all that good stuff. So they got to do that. Well, the difference in that price from here to here, that is the markup. Okay, the difference in price. See how they're making a little bit of money for each one? So let's go ahead and find the difference in price. So it would be $599.99 minus the $560 Best Buy pays for them. And when I do that, I'm getting $39.99. So for every single iPad 3 that they're going to sell, they're going to make $39.99 in profit for every single one of them. So that's pretty cool and all, but hey, don't forget there's totally more. If we take that amount, $39.99, and we divide it by the original, we compare it to what it started as, okay, well then we can find the percent markup. And this one is a little bit weird, my example here, because what it started as is, $560. You have to look at it from the point of Best Buy. Okay, they started at $560 and then they marked the price up to $599.90. So they increased the price. So the original is actually $560 because Best Buy got it for $560, and then they're going to increase the price by $39.99 to make it $599. And when you do that division, $39.99 divided by 560, I got 0.0714. Let's convert that to a percent, and yes, you're right, we're finding a percent markup. Okay, as a percent, that is 7.14%. So how do we say that? We say, they marked up the price by 7.14%. There's a 7.14% markup. Now let's be careful here. Let's talk about the vocabulary. If I were to ask you, or if your math teacher were to ask you, okay, what is the markup? The markup is the difference in price. Okay, it's this guy right here. That's the markup. The percent markup is, of course, this percent. And really all it is we're finding the percent of change. We found the amount it changed. Okay, divide by the original amount. It's just percent of change. We call it percent markup because it relates to a specific thing that we talk about in real life. So that's the percent markup. So let's do another example It's a little bit more clear. Let me erase all this junk. Okay. And if you haven't watched the percent of change videos, I highly, highly recommend it. You really need to watch those before you kind of move on to these. So let's say there's a new Pearl Jam album coming out. I don't know if you kids out there in YouTube land like Pearl Jam anymore, but they rock. So say there's a new Pearl Jam album coming out, and iTunes, they pay Pearl Jam to sell their album. So iTunes is going to pay Pearl Jam. They pay Pearl Jam $6.43 for every album in order to sell their album. So that's what iTunes pays Pearl Jam. Then, you know what iTunes does? They want to make money. So let's say they jack up the price. They're going to mark up the price. They mark up the price by 67%. Oh, iTunes. So what we want to know, well, as a consumer, as somebody who's going to buy the new Pearl Jam album because you want to rock, we want to know is, how much am I paying? So how much am I paying for this album? Well, let's work it out. So we can say the markup, let's use red. Let's say the markup is equal to the percent markup times the store's cost. The percent markup times the store's cost. So, and that kind of makes sense. You want to find 67% of this amount that they pay for it. They mark up the price by 67%. So they're going to multiply this number, $6.43, right here, times 0.67, 67%, and they're going to add to the final cost. And I'll talk about that in a second. So let's go ahead and find the percent markup. So 67% is the percent markup. So we're going to do 0.67 times the store's price of $6.43. And that's going to tell us the markup. Remember, the markup is that difference in price. It's going to be how much it increased by. Okay, when I did that math, I got $4.31. So that means that's not the final price. I mean, that would be awesome. See, if you paid $4.31, that'd be super, super sweet. But we know that's not true. Okay. The markup, how much iTunes is actually going to raise the price by, they're going to raise the price by $4.31. They're going to take whatever they paid for it, $6.43, and they're going to increase it by $4.31. And whatever that is how much you're paying for it. So how much do you pay for it? Well, you pay $10.74 for rock. $10.74. So that is your cost of the Pearl Jam album. So iTunes pays $6.43 to sell that Pearl Jam album. They mark up the price by 67%, which means they're going to add $4.31 to the price. That's their profit, their markup. And you pay $10.74. Good. Let's do another one real quick. Let's say, well, actually, since the bell's ringing, I'll go ahead and pause it right there. And you can do an example on your own, and I'll move on to the next video about discount. All right, I'm Mr. Bajorkin. That was markup. Whoops. Let's try that again.